Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to a new video. My name is Evelyn Porta. Thank you, everybody who is supporting me on this channel, on Patreon as well. Okay, so today I have brought some channeled information about what is going on between Russia and Ukraine. This is a topic that is very relevant, of course. The mainstream is full of that Russia has invaded just recently Ukraine. And I thought about it yesterday, actually, the day before yesterday as well, that I need to look into that. This is not my first video on this. I have done some videos already on YouTube as well about this situation. I talked about it. I have done readings on Vladimir Putin as well, which I posted on Patreon. So I approached this situation from different angles. However, it has never been very clear for me what are the motives behind this. I kind of talked about this briefly, that this is a great narrative, a new narrative after the failed narrative around the virus, and wars are always serving as a great distraction from an economic collapse as well. And they are great distraction also from things that are going on in the background. So certain things can be done without giving it media attention and the attention of the public. So yeah, it's like, oh, look here, this is what is happening, but don't look there because we have things to do in the background. So yeah, but whenever I did a reading on this, the main character of Russia, you guys know who I'm talking about. And the reason why I don't want to really pronounce his name and talk about him and call him on his name in this video is because of the information that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so I will talk about that later. But whenever I did a reading on him or did an energy check on him, I felt confused. I didn't really know what is going on. The readings were about him being positively oriented, but then having negative intentions, which in and of itself is a contradiction, right? And he's not being 100% himself. So there was this weird energy around it. But it will make sense when I get there. So let's talk about a little bit what is happening really in the background. And I thought I'm going to channel information directly about it. So I asked, what are the reasons behind this conflict, behind this war? Because if a person that has such an elevated level of consciousness, which I calibrated, and I talked about that in my previous video, and that was in between 311 and 350, I think. And that is a vibrational frequency of a person that has definitely positive intentions. So it's a positively oriented person. So how can a person be part of such an agenda or such a conflict or war? Because there's nothing that can justify war. There's nothing that can justify the killing of people or even participating in any shape or form in an act like this. And of course, the mainstream is exaggerating about the casualties. It is exaggerating about this whole situation. They are lying about many things. But regardless, I'm sure that there are some casualties. And the person that has positive intentions wouldn't even go near a situation like this, even if it's serving as a fear-mongering. Wouldn't participate in any form. So I asked about the reasons behind this. What is the real reason behind this? And I channeled information. And after I share it with you, what are the reasons will be clearer for you. And you will understand why this is so confusing in terms of him as well, in terms of this main character, because he's not really the main character. It looks like, but okay, so in terms of him, I got some very, very crazy information, okay? And I have been thinking a lot yesterday whether or not to share this information on YouTube. I thought maybe I should just share it on Patreon, or I'm not very comfortable with sharing this. And I want to ask all of you to use your discernment, of course. But I decided to share it because I was told that it is safe to share it with others, and the people that are hearing this information will benefit from it. So we need to know, people need to know what is going on. And as crazy as many things sound, we need to know what is going on. But anyways, okay, let's talk about the reasons, and then we will get to the crazy stuff as well. So the reasons behind this war, this so-called conflict, First of all, what I got was that it is actually economic sabotage. It is a global economic sabotage. So they really want to sabotage the economy. They really want this economic collapse, which is global. So we are not only talking about the European Union, which will be the first who is going to be affected by this war, obviously. I mean, not the European Union because they are part of the agenda as well, but Europe. So Europe as a continent will be affected and countries will be affected because their gas supply and oil supply as well comes from Russia. So the majority of it. So Europe will be affected, but that will extend globally as well. Prices will rise all over the world. Okay, so this will start a ripple effect. It will start a domino effect, but that is the plan. So that is one of the reasons behind this. The second reason that I got was that they want the supply chain disruption, which we knew that it was coming. This has been planned for a long time. And I already got that information that 2022 will be about that. It was just not very clear which wild card they will use. First, it was the cyber attack, the fake cyber attack. And I think I got that in January, that has changed. So there is no longer an option. So something has shifted. Whenever they want to achieve something, this global elite, they will throw all the narratives that are possible and they want to see which one sticks, basically. And at the moment, this is what sticks: the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the war. Okay, so that is the second reason that is very related to the economic sabotage. One follows the other. The third reason is the suppression of the resistance of people against the Great Reset. So the US and other Western nations as well, they have a large amount of people that are still defending freedom and the freedom of speech. And whatever happened in Canada and then now in the US with the convoys is a great proof for that we are standing up now. I talked about that many times. And they know that a narrative like this, a war, would redirect the attention. So attention like this, a war, would be a great opportunity for the implementation of the Great Reset policies, of these totalitarian policies, without people realizing that it is going against them. So the ideology is that there's such a chaos in the world, and in order for us to stop wars and to prevent wars from happening, we will have to have a different approach, a new strategy. And that is the strategy of the Great Reset. They were saying at the time of the virus, at the pandemic, that that was such a great opportunity to start thinking differently, to start having a different approach. Now we have wars, we have conflict, and that is a great opportunity again to implement new strategies. That is the ideology of the Great Reset. The Great Reset wants to act as a savior. And if they try to implement the new digital currency, the universal basic income, and so on, and the ideas of the Great Reset, that would cause rebellion. That would cause a revolution. People would resist that. But if we have a war, and if we have conflict in the world, and desperation, then that will act as a great boogeyman for us to implement this. Because that will stop people from resisting, because they want peace in the world. So we will bring the peace, so to speak. Hope it makes sense what I'm saying. So yeah, that is the third reason, which I got very, very clearly, that they want to suppress resistance. And let's not forget that this is also a great distraction from the protests all around the world. So people are no longer focusing on that. We have a bigger problem here. All right. The fourth reason that I was told that is behind this war is mass poverty. They want poverty in the world. They want this to start this domino effect, which will result in poverty and famine as well, which is also related to the economic sabotage, this global economic sabotage. And that would be, again, an opportunity for them to implement the Great Reset, the universal basic income, which is related to the disruption of the supply chain and other things as well. So there's nothing really new in this information which I got. It's more like a confirmation of what we already thought that it was. I have already talked about this. And this conflict, this war is a great cover for many things, for the economic collapse, for the inflation, rebellion in the world, the resistance, the supply chain, and so on. So it's serving as a cover, it's serving for what the pandemic narrative was supposed to serve for, but that didn't work out. So when we know what is the end goal, which we know what is that, it's easy to connect the dots. Okay, so if these are the reasons, then how that main character comes in picture? What is the role that he is playing in all this? Because we know that the reasons are very negative and sinister, the great resetting. So how come that this person is part of that? What role is he playing? And I was asking who is behind this basically. And what I got very clearly is that it's the global elite, which we know. So it's not Russia, it's not Ukraine, it's not just the US, it's not any country, there's no political thing that is behind this. It is the ruling class, the global elite. So what's happening with this main character then? If he's a positive character and he is not working together with them, then what is the situation here? And why did I get such confusing energies around him? So these were the questions that were I was asking myself about. And I thought, okay, I need to channel information about him as well because it's important to know. And actually I got about him, which was again confusing, that he is not working together with the World Economic Forum and the other globalists, even though he has been participating in many meetings with them, with the World Economic Forum. So I'm like, okay, that's again confusing. And then it clicked what is going on because I got to the information. So basically the person who is initiating this war and the person that is in office as VP is not the real VP. And here is where it's getting very crazy. So please use your discernment. If this doesn't resonate, it's okay. Leave it. If it resonates, it's fine. But this is what I received. So the person that is acting as VP and it's in office and it is apparently behind all this, is actually just a clone of the real P. The real VP is inactive at the moment. And when I got that, I'm like, oh my God. When I got that information, I was like, this is absolutely crazy. I have not been very familiar with human cloning and what is going on, but this is something that is absolutely not new. I have heard of it already, and this is not the first time that they do this. This is not the first time that they do this with someone well-known, and they kind of hijack their consciousness. I was actually thinking about him being hijacked, so his consciousness partially being hijacked. But I was told that no, that is not the case. And neither a walk-in is the case. So he didn't have another spirit that came in as a walk-in, as a negatively oriented spirit to take over. He was actually cloned. And then I was asking how many of these clones there are on the earth plane, clones of him. And I was told that there are 3 of them. So apart from him, there's the real VP and there are 3 other clones. And actually he was forced to become inactive and to kind of step down and not to participate in any of these things. So the real person, the real VP, is a positively oriented soul. I believe that he's a light worker, and when I calibrated his energy level, his frequency level, I calibrated the energy level of the real one, not the clones. The one that is acting right now is one of those 3 clones, and it has a completely different frequency level around the level of fear. And then I was asking since when he has become inactive, the real one. And I got that I'm not supposed to know, so that information was blocked. I didn't get any year, so I don't know when that transition happened or when they forced him to step down to become inactive, but at the moment the real one is inactive. And then I was asking, okay, but where the real one is at the moment? Is he still in the physical or he has passed away? The answer was that yes, he's still alive. Basically, he's still in the physical plane. He's still on earth and he's somewhere in Europe. This is what I got. I didn't ask about the country. It's not it's not significant in my opinion. It doesn't really matter because whoever is acting right now is not the real him. Now, what you need to know about VP as a person is that the real one like worked as a foreign intelligence officer, I think for like 16 years or something, and then as a lieutenant colonel for until 1991. And then in 1996, he joined the administration of Boris Yeltsin. So he has joined his administration to work in the political field. And I was asking if he was still the real one at that time when he joined politics, and I wasn't allowed to ask that question, so that answer was blocked. But what came true was that when he was still the real one with positive intentions. Now my question was that let's say that at some point he was swapped with his clone or whatever, but I'm sure that clone itself, he has done many speeches and he was acting as the real one. How come that the character of the real one is still remained in the clone? And I think what is happening with this cloning, and this is just my opinion about this is just my view on this. So what is happening when they are cloning someone, which is not the first time, they have done it many times, and there are many clones that are working around. But what is happening is that they are imprinting the consciousness of the real one to the other one, to the clone. So he has the character of the real one, but he doesn't have the consciousness. He might have some memories as well of the original one, but he doesn't have definitely the intentions of the original one because he doesn't have the consciousness level. And that is the main point, for the clone to have a lower level of consciousness, so it is easily manipulated mentally. So they can use this MK Ultra or whatever they are using to manipulate and to control these entities, to make them to follow basically orders. This is how I think about this. So the clone has the personality traits of the original one, but it doesn't have the consciousness level. It doesn't have the same intentions as the original one, and that's why they need the clones. So that is the trickster energy, because the clone has the DNA of the original one, but it doesn't have the same genetic imprint because the origin of the soul is different. And I think this is what they are doing with many people in Hollywood as well. If there's a character with a very high level of consciousness and a high charisma as well, and I think there are many, many performers as well out there that have that charisma. So they are attracting people as a magnet. People are attracted to their charisma, to their energies naturally. And this is what they're harnessing, the global elite. So they need a clone that is easily manipulated, but it looks the exact same as that person. And it has the personality traits as well, but it has different intentions. So it has a great reputation. People love that person. So we will use that as a trickster energy. We will use that for negative purposes. So I didn't get into this clone, what this clone is. It could be some AI as well. I don't know. That's not the point. But yeah, as I said, this is a crazy information. This might not resonate with all of you. Take it or leave it, please. But for me, it makes complete sense, taking in consideration what is happening now with this conflict. The original one would never participate, I would say, with that level of consciousness, would never participate in something like this. And in terms of his soul and his soul origin, I got that he is originating, so the real one, not the clones. The real one is originating from Draco constellation, but he's not reptilian. So not all the starseeds that are from Draco are reptilians. And not all reptilians are negatively oriented either. So the draconian race is very versatile, is very diverse. There are many entities that are draconian races that are part of the draconian race, but they are not reptilians, and he's not reptilian, and he's positively oriented, and actually he came with a positive purpose. And hence why I think he has worked there with a positive intention, but then along the way something happened, I think, in his political career. but I'm not exactly sure where that happened. So again, use your discernment. It's crazy for me as well. That's why I wasn't very comfortable with sharing this. But I think it's important to know about these things, and it's important to get familiar with the idea of cloning as well. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I want to pull a few cards, but I don't want to ask about the reasons behind the war, because we know it's kind of evident already. We know what the plans are. But what I want to ask is if they are going to succeed with those plans, and where we are standing right now, where this whole situation is standing right now. Because I don't know if the mainstream is showing the truth about the casualties and about the deaths. So let's check. So I will flip my camera so you can see the cards, and let's get into this reading. Hello everybody again. So we will do a reading as I said, and what I wanted to add to this information but I forgot is that I was kind of connecting to the energy of this whole war, and I got like a download all of a sudden, and I was told that humanity is so on top of things, and meaning that we are not only in control of the situation as a species, but we are also so above what is happening on that 3D level already and what is happening with this war. So, of course, what is being presented in the mainstream has nothing to do with where we are standing right now. No one wants war, and I don't think this is going to be a problem, to be honest. But I wanted to check the energies of this whole situation and where this is all going. So I'm going to ask a few questions. Actually, I'm going to ask first about the casualties, about what is happening, on the 3D level and the effects so far of this conflict, of this war, and about the fact that they invaded actually Ukraine. And then we will check also where is this going, if they're going to succeed with the plan. All right, so I'm going to shuffle the deck. Yeah, I had a few cards already popping out. I don't know which card is that, but I will put it here. All right, so we have these cards already. I'm going to put them here so you can see them all. I don't know what cards are these. Ten of Swords, Three of Pentacles reversed, and then we have the Strength card reversed. Okay, casualties and the effects of this so far. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and that is normally suggesting like a financial situation, a new financial plan that is being implemented. I do believe that this is the new digital currency or the introduction of something new. I keep talking about that, but whenever I get this particular card, the Ace of Pentacles, this always reminds me of that digital currency and this new system that they want to implement. So it does have to do with money, it does have to do with finances, this whole thing, as I got in the channeled information as well. It does have to do with the economy. This has been very carefully planned, very strategically planned. That's why we got the Emperor. Whenever I do a reading about the situation, the Emperor always comes up. So this can be the energy of VP, as that tyrant energy, the energy of the clone, but this can be the energy of the global elite as well, which is behind this. So that's strategic, that very logical and rigid kind of energy that is orchestrating this whole thing. And we have the Strength card reversed as well, which is also talking about, yeah, there are some casualties. There are some casualties because the Strength card reversed is about a discord, is about abuse of power. Someone is abusing power, of course, the Emperor, for disrupting the economy. We know that this is also talking about fear. So there is some fear in the air. I don't know if there is fear in Ukraine and Russia. Certainly there is some, if it's true what the mainstream media is saying, but there is fear in the world around this situation. That's for sure. That is what this card is talking about. It is the domination of the material. and the abuse of the moral force that is keeping people in fear. And the Four of Swords is talking about anxiety in this reverse position. It is a readiness to act, and it is also talking about this social unrest. So, this situation is definitely causing social unrest, probably in Ukraine as well. And of course, this is what is happening there, but then maybe in Russia as well. Certain people want to speak up against it, but that can be also a lie that is being told in the mainstream, that those people are being beaten up on the streets. This is what I heard. But the reality of the situation is that there is social unrest. Oh, it's a caution, definitely. So people are afraid. There is anxiety around it. And look, just below that, we have the Ten of Swords. That is about feeling defeated. It's is the rock bottom. It is not about violent death, so I don't think that will be the case, but it's definitely about tears falling, it's definitely about feeling defeated, trouble, and disruption in home life, in the lives of families. Oh, that's so sad, actually. And then we have the Three of Pentacles as well, which is reversed. It's talking about preoccupation around material gains, but in case of the people is basically the card of the lack of support. They are feeling quite alone, these people. Like they are feeling like they are not being helped. Yeah, there is a serious situation here in terms of the disruption of families. So that is quite serious. And it is happening. Those people are really, really feeling stressed about this situation because the Ace of Swords is talking about that as well, being reversed. This is about stress. This is about thinking about the biggest disaster that can happen. It's about loss as well. It's about obstacles. Yeah, people are being stressed about this situation. And look at the High Priest, that is the Hierophant. This is that energy of the global elite, I would say. I think this is the energy of VP, the clone, and this is the energy of the global elite that is behind things, and it's feeling really in power at the moment, and it's feeling fulfilled with all this and with the stress that this situation is causing, not only in those countries, but all around the world. There's a fear around this war. So it's really up to us if we get through this, but there are some casualties. Let's get some more cards, maybe from this deck. Spirit, please tell us about the casualties and the effects of this so far. What else we need to know? We have the Hanged Man reversed. Oh, oh my god, this is not what I wanted. Sorry. What else we need to know? Queen of Cups upright. Yeah, so there will be victims as well, unfortunately, victims of this horrible situation. But then there is support as well, and there's empathy as well that is coming from the rest of the world. Oh, yeah, I don't like these energies. This is horrible. So these are the current energies, these are the current effects of this situation so far. Let's check what is the short-term outcome, where is this heading, if they are going to succeed with their plans. I mean, if the global elite will succeed with their plans. And we will do short-term outcome and long-term outcome as well. So top row will be short-term, bottom row long-term outcome. All right, so first, short-term outcome. What I see is quite positive because we have the Eight of Swords reverse, which is the card of freedom, of liberation after feeling stuck for a while. And then we have the Five of Swords as well, which is the card of a fair fight and peace after conflict as well. So there is some freedom, there is some liberation in the air that will happen, I think, probably very soon, because this is the short-term outcome, remember. And I don't feel like these negative forces will be winning because the Six of Wands reversed is about feeling stuck. It's about retreat, like a failure, like a plans falling apart, and that's why they have to retreat. I think this is what is going to happen basically with this plan. It will fall apart quite soon, and people will have this sense of liberation, sense of freedom, sense of new hope as well. So I don't see anything happening in the favor of the deep state who is orchestrating this. I feel like people are going to feel liberated for some reason. So whatever happens, something is going to shift the energies around this, because we have the Five of Pentacles reversed as well. And this is about the hope coming back. So the hope returning home and the feeling liberated after a stressful period. So there might be some upheavals as well, at least that is the plan, like financial upheavals, but there will be hope that will return in terms of that with this card. So no, they're not going to succeed with this. And it's not the first time when I'm getting this. The Knight of Wands, though, is reversed, and that is an impulsive energy. That is a revengeful energy as well. This can indicate also the revenge of people, or people saying that, you know what, enough of this BS. So that can mean that as well, but that can mean that counterforce too, which was represented by the Hierophant. The knights are sometimes the pages or the soldiers that are fighting in a war. Those are the ones that are on the front line. But the knight can indicate as well that, and because it's reversed, that person is very impulsive. So this can be the military as well, the impulsiveness of the military, some act that will trigger this loss, loss of the sense of victory, because the Hierophant was the high priest currently is very confident in what they are doing. So they feel like the ball is in their court at the moment, but that will shift very quickly, and there will be this liberation, sense of liberation in the air, the liberation of people. So that is what is happening short term, and I do feel like it's coming in quite fast. Let's get a few clarifier cards. So short term, what is that we need to know about? Is there anything else that we need to know about, Spirit? The Lovers. This is about bad choices. This is about decisions that are being regretted. There is some regrets here. So someone is going to regret this move. Six of Wands, again, reversed. I'm telling you. It's the same freaking card, look. From two different decks. This is not going to work out. They're not going to succeed with the plan. The global elite is not going to succeed with the plan. This is short term. Okay, let's check what is happening long term, because the bottom row is about long term. Yeah, so long term, I see again like only positive things, because we have the Queen of Pentacles that is upright, and we have the Page of Pentacles upright as well. So both are indicating that nothing negative will come out from this plan of tearing up, the financial system, or there is a lot of support. People will start supporting each other, because we have the Three of Pentacles as well. So we have loads of pentacles that are actually upright. There is a lot of support coming from people. People are supporting each other. I feel like probably countries as well supporting each other with this. They are going to support Ukraine as well, because of course, like the Russians are the horrible people now. They are the boogeymans. And I feel like financial stability here. And I think this is indicating also stability in the economy as well, long term. So there might be turmoils first, like financially, but long term, this will be quite good for the economy, actually. And then we have the Ace of Swords, which is about new ideas. This is about something new that is coming in, this new energy. And it's about mental clarity as well. Now, this can also indicate conflict too. But I feel like because it's upright, this is more mainly talking about a new idea around finances. And I don't see it as something that is not benefiting people. I don't see it as something negative or sinister. This is about trust and security also. It's about generosity and charity. It can mean charity as well. The Queen of Pentacles, but definitely something positive in terms of the finances around this situation. So yeah, the Ace of Swords is triumph of power. It's really success around the finances as well, but then in terms of relationships with other people, in terms of team support. And then we have the Eight of Cups reversed as well, which is great because it is about returning home. It can indicate joy as well and success and an interest in the success. So people will make steps forward, will initiate this successful outcome. Yeah, again, I have done already readings about this in the past, and I got the power of people about this. I got that victory of people, that triumph which is surrounding this situation. So I feel like everything is happening with a great positive purpose. This needs to happen in order to open the eyes of people as well. It's like the same thing that happened in Canada with the convoy and with that horrible move of Trudeau, that tyrant kind of attitude. This is the same thing. And it's happening with a great purpose. Is there anything else that we need to know about this spirit? Is there anything else? Okay, Six of Swords and the Three of Cups. There is a necessary relocation here. There's a necessary move that needs to be done. Maybe going from one place to another because of the lack of support. So that is a long term. So there might be some immigration long term as a long term effect of this situation, a long term outcome. Many people will move, maybe countries as well, like relocating domestically as well, but then international relocation as well, probably, because there's no support in those lands, in those areas. So yeah, there will be consequences in the demographic sense as well. Okay, the Magician reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. Yeah, definitely someone is not using their creative powers for creative purposes and for positive purposes. And as a result, there will be some aggression. So there is some aggression because of this power that is not being used for positive purposes. Could be the aggression of people as well. Rebellion, people waking up to what is happening and who is pulling the strings, and understanding that this is not a problem that is in between different countries, like these two countries. This is not a political problem. This is just a theater. This is an illusion, whatever is being played out. It's a very trickster energy. Oh, 1 second, because I have some cards on the floor. Okay, I actually got the Queen of Swords upright and the Six of Pentacles reverse. So this can serve as an activation again, as a help for people to realize that they need to become self-sufficient. Not only in those countries, but all around the world. This is an eye-opening thing. Realizing that they need to become self-sufficient. Otherwise, the deep state is going to use the finances against them. And it's coming up over and over again, the same message, because the Six of Pentacles reverse is about debt, and only an individual that is self-sufficient, that is very firm and knows how to handle finances and how to be independent can overcome this energy of the debt. And at this point, anything that the deep state is doing, anything that this cabal is initiating, will serve as a positive activation of the real powers and the real creative powers of people. But we have this magician again, like this trickster energy. Oh my God, this whole situation is such a trickster situation. Like it's such an illusion that is being played out here. Let's see what is at the bottom of the deck, because I didn't even check. We have the Seven of Cups. This is about clarity again, because upright is about too many choices, not knowing which option to choose. People will gain clarity about things and what is really important, because the Seven of Cups doesn't really know what is important here. It doesn't know if it should prioritize finances or it should prioritize people and relationships. There are too many choices here. But we will gain clarity. Humanity is gaining clarity about what the real values are and what is really important to focus on. And look, the Empress is reversed. Now, That can indicate poverty, that can indicate famine in the world, like the lack of abundance for a while. And in some parts of the world, that will be inevitable, unfortunately. It will still go on until we deal with this counterforce that is pulling the strings from the background. But long term, I feel like this is going to be a great financial lesson for all of us, a financial lesson for humanity. All right, guys, this is what I'm seeing. I will come back probably with updates, but for now, this is what is happening. I hope this has resonated with you. Don't forget not to lose hope, because remember, we are so beyond what is happening right now. We are so beyond this spiritually, mentally, from every point of view. We are really above this situation, and we can rise above this situation anytime. And this is what we are doing. So thank you again for everyone who is supporting me on YouTube and Patreon as well. Please check out my Patreon. I am posting there quite frequently, and I'm doing readings about these things. So take care, everyone, and I cannot wait to see you next time.